I got another video for y'all. This Love After Lockup, season 1, episode 6. Let's get into it. So, Charlene came to check on Scott, and she was like, "You not answering your phone." He talking about some Lizzie got caught with drugs. The fuck that got to do with my phone call? But when Scott told her Lizzie's bail and how long she facing, Charlene was like, "This your time to ditch that bitch," and I'm with her. Not just because I like Charlene, but off the fact that, nigga, Scott, you already in your mid-50s. The fuck you finna wait another 12 years for? You finna be 70 trying to fuck with her? Come on, Scott. You're not going to tell me, you're not going to force me to believe that you can't find no woman. I ain't even going to say no better woman, but no woman within the next 12 years and the next decade. Fuck out of here, nigga. James meets up with the same friend that met Allah, and James tells him how the past couple of days been going and how the past couple of days went. And his friend suggests that Allah's relapsing again, and James don't want to hear that, so him and his mans get into an argument. James left afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, that's a possibility, but it's a non-negotiable for me if she touching that stuff." And to be real with you, that nigga James look like he touching that stuff. Y'all be watching him, watch in his confessionals. He just be talking, and then randomly his eyes get real wide, like he coked out or something like that. I'm like, hey, that nigga James might be touching that stuff, but that's a convo for another day. So Lamar had called Andrea earlier in the episode when she was dress shopping to tell her that his PO said that he can't go see them in LA, or he can't go see them in Utah, and he has to stay in LA, excuse me. So now this weekend he planned on seeing the kids, but now he can't because, like I said, it's PO, whatever. So midway through the episode, Andrea tells the kids that they gonna go to LA to see him. So her kids end up grilling her ass because she tried to make it seem like they gonna be this perfect little family and that's gonna be their dad. And the kids is like, we not finna accept him or welcome him right off the bat. Her son was like, this is just like meeting an acquaintance. We don't know that nigga that well. And I'm with the kids on this one. And also, like they said, why is we in a rush to meet this nigga so fast? You already been waiting 6 years. What's another year gonna do? What's another 6 months gonna do? The fuck, you know what I'm saying? Why do we have to go see this nigga right then and now? I just don't understand. And it's the same shit I was saying last episode when Johanna was always talking about getting married, or really married, because of course Garrett proposed to Johanna last episode. So I'm more so talking about Mary and just beating this nigga Dom up about proposing the wedding, this and that about the wedding. And he's like, I'm literally still in the halfway house. Like, I barely even really made it out. And you've been doing everything in your power to talk about this way. It's like, why do y'all be in such a rush when they get out? And I mean, I do understand, because it's like, hey, you've been waiting on this person for years. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, you can't expect for that person to just come out right out the gates, right when you pick them up and they get out that dusty ass rape van and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to marry each other. Earlier in the episode, Johanna told her father that Garrett proposed to her. And of course, he didn't approve. And he was throwing shit, which was a little overdramatic, but I get he don't want her to get hurt. But that's not why I brought it up. Her father pretty much says that he thinks that Garrett proposed just to get Johanna off his back. So now later on in the episode, Johanna's pulling up to his job for confirmation, talking about I just have to know this. Like, I have to know. Bitch, don't pull up to my job with all that. Like... And this nigga's in the food service. He's in the food industry. He got to deal with these rich ass people all day. And now I got to deal with church shit. You coming up here asking me why I proposed to you and if it was just to get you off my back or if it's because I really wanted to. This is such a convo we can have at the house. Fuck the house. This is a convo we can have on my break. And don't even come up here on my break. Just call me on my break. FaceTime me and say that shit on my break. Like, you don't really have to come up here. You don't got to ruin the mood. Like, come on. So when Andrea and her kids pull up to Lamar, he going around the car saying hi to everybody. He went up to her daughter in the car and was like, oh, are you Nyla? And Nyla didn't say anything and didn't move. And Andrea talking about some, Nyla, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know this nigga. It's one thing if he extended his hand for a handshake or something, which I still would have rejected. But if I don't know you, you shouldn't be running your hands through my hair. The fuck? This is my first time meeting you. Don't touch me. It even comes to the point of Andrea bribing Nyla, talking about I give you $20. Nyla was like, nah. Then she was like, I'll give you 40. Nyla was like, nah. You can't bribe me. Hey, Nyla, I fuck with you. You stand on business, you know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be bought. I fuck with it. Hell, she better than me. Her mom would have offered me that 40, and nigga like me would have showed y'all them negotiation skills for you. I got 40 for you. 40? Man, it's 2025. That shit ain't gonna get me no penny candy. If I'm gonna get out this bitch, I'm getting out 100 up. Fuck you. Yeah, if I'm getting out there, bitch, I'm gonna hunt it up. And I ain't getting out till it hit my cash out. Fuck you talking about. Shit, so they all go in, they sit in like his little room, because he stayed with his brother or whatnot. So they sit in his little room, whatever, talk for a minute. And Andrea ends up being like, Tennyson, go talk to Nyla or whatever. So Tennyson's like the boy. So Tennyson goes up there and he's like, oh, he's like, oh, you know, you don't have to talk to him. You just have to be there. So she ends up getting out the car. And the only problem I have is we got out the car 0 up. Like, where's the businesswoman in you, Nyla? Like, if we was always going to get out, we could have at least got our pockets tapped. What, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, if we was always going to get out, we could have been done that. I thought you was going to take the bribe. I would have, shit, don't get me wrong. I appreciate you stood on business and, you know, you can't be bribed, you can't be bought. But to get out for the free ball after you had the opportunity to make 20 and double that is kind of like, yeah. You know, I question it. But hey, anyway, that's the end of this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this guy. Just for a second.